and I have a new palette to use. But yeah, I did pick up the new Blend Bunny x Mei Pang. I got the Fauna palette, but I adore the Rhode palette so much. This did come out, honestly, maybe a month ago by the time this is posted. But it did show up surprisingly fast. It came like less than a week after I ordered it, which for Blend Bunny, for the Mei Pang collabs, that's pretty impressive. So I want to use this mostly just this for the eyes, maybe a shimmer. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, let's get into it. But first things first, I'm gonna go in with the Blend Bunny x Mei Pang Fauna palette. This is 20 matte shades, just like the Rhode one. There was another palette in this collection called Flora. It was kind of like more neutrals with like a few shimmers, and it just wasn't really speaking to me. So I figured this would be a really good, you know, sister palette for my Rhode, and they would pair better than the other one. So first I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the shade Bio Crow. I think it's like kind of a bright peachy orange shade. So I'm gonna gather some of that, and then we're gonna, okay, that is lighter than I thought it would be. I don't know if that's good or not. Probably not. So we're just gonna see what I can get built up with this. This is kind of like a little round or a brush. It's one of the Makeup by Ariel X Morphe ones. Like, I understand not all collabs can live forever, but these are literally my perfect brushes. Like, I have the face ones too, because my friend, so I was like, oh, I want to get the eyeshadow brushes of this collab. You know, I was like, so they got me the entire thing for Christmas, so I was like, okay, I'm like not gonna complain. Especially now that those like blush brushes are like my favorite ones. But I might pick up some more eyeshadow brushes just because some of them are really old, and I'm like, these are really not to be out and about in the world right now. I don't know if this was the right brush or the right shade, but we're gonna work with what we have. I might bust out the Rhode palette at some point just to really show like how well in tune these two stories are together. Actually, this is the Rhode palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade Spora mixed with the Bio Crow shade. Just a little, just so I can get a little more, just like the tiniest bit more depth. Like I just need the tiniest bit. Really, 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 like 3 dips of Bio Crow versus 1 of Spora. And that's just laying it on top of what's already down for Bio Crow. So just gonna do a little underneath. See? Much better. And then on a large fluffy brush, I'm taking some of Bio Crow mixed with some of the shade Calla, which is like a more nudie peach. I'm just gonna use that to blend up and around. Just do a little bit of that. Nothing too wild or crazy, just some blending. Who would have guessed? And then this is with the Fauna palette. I'm gonna go in with some of the shade Placoid, and I'm gonna, oh, that blue looks beautiful. I feel like these are more pastel than they look in the pan, and I know that's realistically just color theory because it's more of like a grayish brown base this time and not just black, so it could just be affecting my perception of it, if you will. We're gonna take some of that, and you know what, we're gonna layer a little bit of Nymph over it, which is this beautiful minty green. I love a minty green. I feel like mint and peach go pretty well together, so just kind of, also yes, I know this is overly thick, but it's gonna get covered with concealer, so it's fine. And then on a flat edge brush, I'm going to take some of the shade Vivoria mixed with some of Rhode. I'm just going to kind of do, I don't know if I want to do an entirely smudge belt wing, but I at least want something there and given contrast. So I'm going to blend that out very carefully with the other end of this brush tip and just do a little bit of that. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other eye. I know. God forbid. But no, today is Tuesday, August 4th? 5th? 4th. I didn't get to do my makeup yesterday because, you know, we went out, we did our usual shenanigans. My brother actually came out, but that's because he has $5 to his name and wants snacks. And he's like, I know I could just ask, but he's like, I don't know what I want until I see things. So I'm like, you know what, understandable, because that's why I can't ask anyone to pick me up something unless I'm in a specific craving for it. And then I'm gonna go in with just some of Roseate. Who knows? Not me. So we did that, but then my father and I went to go see The Odyssey at 3 o'clock, which is like perfect, usually when I do my makeup time. And realistically, I could have gotten a look done between getting home and leaving, but then ended up having to do a few other things, so I'm like, I'm just gonna not even bother. But saw The Odyssey, I liked it, but I'm also a huge Greek mythology nerd, even though they did cut a few things, and I know that you can't put everything about The Odyssey into a movie, because then the movie would be 5 hours long. However, they cut a lot about Penelope, which I'm not that surprised about. But it didn't feel like a 3-hour movie, and that's really what matters. That's why I didn't want to go see it in theaters. I'm like, it's 3 hours. I'm like, this is just so long. It felt like a 2-hour movie, opposed to a 3-hour movie. And I'm like, okay, say less. You know? It flowed so well. And Anne Hathaway, I'm getting you that Oscar. John Leguizamo, I'm getting you that Oscar. Matt Damon, you sounded especially Bostonian for some reason. Especially when you said dog. I'm like, my brother in Christ. And then with the Rhode palette, I'm going in with the shade Asper. And I'm going to do that right up against my brow bone. Because, you know, I do love me a good pop of color. But I'm still waiting on my assistant district manager to text me back because, you know, I got home from New York and I went straight back to work. Like, I got home Thursday. I opened Friday. When I got in on Friday, there was a note taped to the door. They're like, oh, hey, you know, we're turning off water from Tuesday night, 9 p.m. to Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. I'm like, okay, fantastic. I'm like, we're supposed to be open until midnight on Tuesday. And it's a health code violation to be open without water. So I, you know, emailed her and our district manager on Friday. And as of 10:30, I still have not gotten a response about it. She's like, you know, her and I are still waiting on a response from the regional manager, but it should be a yes. I'm like, it's not, it should be. I'm like, it needs to be. I'm like, it's 12:35. I need to let my people know. So that way they don't have 3 hours just, you know, 2-3 hours notice. I want to give them at least a little time, because, to be honest, I don't know who's on shift tonight, so I don't know how long it's going to take for certain people to get from certain places. One would think. And then also with the Rhode palette, this is the shade Acrimonium, I think. It's just a super pale pink. So I'm just going to place some of that there. I mean, I haven't been outside, but it doesn't feel surprisingly hot in my room. So shout out. That's always a nice thing. Like, I have my fan down, you know, it has 3 speeds. It's an oscillating fan. I usually have it on 3. I think I have it on 1 right now. And I'm like, I'm good, I'm Gucci, I'm perfect. I am going to go in with a shimmer just on like the little pale pink part. This is from Colourpop Cosmetics. This is their Super Shock Shadow in the shade Ladybird. This is like my favorite Super Shock from them. This one's old as hell and beaten as hell, to the point that I'm just gonna take from whatever's on the cap. But like, it's like a little pink champagne-y tone. Sorry, I'm looking for my mirror. But it's just gonna be like a little scattering. Nothing too intense, nothing too specifically colored. There's a whole bunch of glitter on my shirt now, so we're just gonna do that. But you know, I'm still waiting on the go ahead, so I'm gonna text her again, because it's like 12:30 right now. You know, at 10:30 she's like, oh, you know, I'm still waiting to hear back from blah blah, but you know, I'm like, okay, I'm like, we need to hear back from them sooner. I'm like, girl, then I wanna, you know, give everyone enough notice, and then I don't want my driver to be like, to come in at 8 and be like, oh my god, no one's at the store. Like, you stupid son, you know? Boy. But this is it for the eyes. I need to go find some lashes, but I will be back in a second. Alrighty, I'm back with some lashes on, so now we can move on to the base. This is from Paula's Choice. This is the Pro Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturizer. Like always, was gifted to me. Like always, wouldn't keep using this. And I did just text my assistant DM again, because you know, it's 12:30. Haven't gotten a response from her in 2 hours, when she's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just about to get an update. And she's been typing for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, this does not require a 2-minute. Just, yes, close early, you know, update your people, which is what, because I have a text typed up, be like, oh, you know, closing early due to water maintenance. Everyone's scheduled for nighttime is now in for 4:30. Get out of here before 9, before the water gets turned off. Like, that's really so. And again, legally we can't stay open. I will not hesitate to call my health inspector and be like, ayo, like, I know it's 9 o'clock and nobody's hanging around, but like, also, we won't be able to do dishes at night because there won't be any water. Not even just hot water. Water, period. So I'm not coming in to do the truck order and all dishes, plus everything I always have to do. No. 9. Zip, 0, zilch. So. Can't. Again. I have a timer for 9 minutes. If she doesn't answer me in 9 minutes, I'm going to text the group chat prematurely and hope for the best. And then this is from NYX Professional Makeup. This is the Plump Right Back Serum Primer. I think I have one more use out of this. I know that I say this every time, but then actually barely even anything came out. But thankfully it didn't do anything, but I think that every time I come back from New York, I'm just going to injure myself. Because, you know, in March, burn. I did burn myself, like, right here 2 days ago. Thankfully it didn't leave any marks, so yay me. But then I decided to clean the freezer because I got bitched at about that. I'm like, lady, no one else knows how to clean it or has the time to clean it, so it's only ever me. And I'm sorry that my doctor told me not to do anything strenuous for a few weeks to a few months, because, you know, the ligaments attaching my sternum and my ribs are kind of torn, strained. But I cut my knuckles up, as I do, which is also why I don't like doing it. And it's tiring being the only person who does it. And then this is from L'Oreal Paris. This is the True Match Super Blendable Foundation in N1. And then I'm also going to do my Temptu Color Correction Drops in green. It's funny. So I had broken 2 nails in New York, which is not funny, but like, I got gel X, so like the cover of the tip of this one came off, and then I have a crack like here. I was like, okay. I'm like, my father and I were talking about, you know, what movie we had wanted to see, because he had texted me. He's like, oh, you know, movies on Monday. I'm like, yeah, sure. Which one? Because we both want to see the Odyssey. We both want to see Spider-Man. I'm like, Odyssey will be the one where we can sit in our normal seats that we prefer if we do Spider-Man, it will have to be, you know, sit amongst the people like peasants. He's like, oh, we'll do, Odyssey, blah, blah, blah. He's like, it was good, but he's like, that was a 3-hour movie. I'm like, really? Because it didn't feel like that. But he's like, oh, you know, do it on Sunday. He's like, after our farmer's markets. I'm like, I told you that I had a nail appointment, but you know, whatever. Turns out I don't have a nail appointment. I have it for Tuesday. Because my nail tech is going on vacation. So I'm like, oh, I'll postpone it, you know, the day or two that I can. Without entirely waiting another week, especially now that I have a broken nail. 2 broken nails. But I have nail glue in my bag and under and on my nails. Because I'm like, I can't go get it fixed. I'm like, I have no time between, you know, getting home and then after work and then before work. So I'm like, I'd rather just suffer a little. And also because this one is like a design, so I don't want like the little celestial nails that I like doing. So I don't want to have him fix the design too, but then I would just look weird with a plain nail, so just making do with what I can. And again, these nails are coming off next time I'm at the salon anyways, because that's why they're breaking, is because I have so much growth underneath. So that's, like, I know why it's breaking. It's because, again, it's because I have so much growth and that it's time for a set. But I've had these tips on a little longer than I usually would, because I extended some of the weeks. So it's just so much weight, if you will. And then this is from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Concealer in Fair Neutral 2. I did see that he's coming out with like tiny, like, basically contouring sticks. Because he's coming out with contour colors, and then he's also coming out with like highlighting colors. I have no desire to get them. I adore my Morphe stick. And I'm gonna be honest, we see how pale I am. Usually, like, the lightest highlighting shade and like a contour stick is not light enough for me, so. Also, it's not even dual-ended, it's separate colors. I know that Patrick Ta is too high and mighty to do, you know, a dual-ended product like that, but I'm like, it's just, why would I buy, like, if I have a concealer, why would I buy a separate cream highlighting stick like that? Just, it makes no sense. That's something I don't understand. Like, I don't, like, if you have a concealer, you can do that. And if you're buying a contour stick, or a dual-sided contour stick, you most likely have. Again, not always. Some people want to try to, you know, save their money and get a 2-in-1 product. But if you're buying Patrick Ta, you most likely have your own concealer that you already use, and that can be used perfectly fine for that. Again, I don't get that. I really, really never did. If you have a brighter concealer than your skin tone, it will do the same thing. And probably wear a little better. And then this is from Rhode. This is the Pocket Bronze in the shade Pebble. Also, people on the train are they're so. Because, you know, people eat on the train, sure. I never have, because I'm like, that feels weird. Somebody was peeling a whole orange the other night. Like, that's the thing, it wasn't even in the morning. It was like, what, probably 6:30, 7 o'clock at night? I'm like, c'est quoi? People just really, they surprise me sometimes. It's like the time that my mother was on the bus, and she texts me, she's like, there's a lady eating Vienna sausages out of the can, and drinking the juice. I'm like, and you wonder why I refuse to take the buses in our city. Like, because, I'm like, this is what happens. This is what happens when we take the bus. I'm like, no offense. I'm like, I'm not trying to be exposed to Vienna sausage lady. It's just funny because I have, like, nothing interesting to tell you because it's been mostly New York and work for the past, you know, week. Oh, so my friend and I saw Paranormal Activity in Boston the day that I got back from New York, which is funny because I wanted to see it because I want to be like a pretentious asshole and be like, well, I saw it in its pre-Broadway run in Boston, blah, 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 blah. She wanted to see it because she just likes horror movies. I can do horror movies, but not ghost ones, because even though I don't believe in ghosts, it's spooky. I can do a slasher film, no problem. Thanksgiving, god-awful movie, love it, adore it. And then this is from e.l.f. This is the Camo Liquid Blush in Dusty Rose. I haven't used this in like a very, very long time. Like, I got this when it came out. Okay, still not actively buying anything from e.l.f., but I didn't want an overly, like, saturated color for blush. So we're gonna do a little more like boyfriend blush. So we saw that. That was scary as hell. I'm gonna be honest here. And again, I'm not a big horror movie person as it is, but that one was really just unnerving. And they did a really good job. I don't think that they're gonna get many, if any, extensions for the show, but I think it will be received pretty well. It didn't feel like the theater, if that makes any sense, because, you know, sometimes you can overact in the theater to really, you know, get your point across. This felt very, like, more natural, more movie-esque, so gave that, really kind of immersed us. But we saw that. It was fantastic to see, because when I got home, all of the lights were off and the dog was out. So it was just an unsettling experience, just a little, petite. And then this is from Haus Labs. This is the Color Fused Blush in the shade Pomelo Peach. But on Friday, my mother and I went to go see Moulin Rouge, because originally it was supposed to be, actually it was supposed to be tonight, but they canceled the second half of their tour dates for Boston. So we're like, well, if we don't see it now, we're not gonna see it. So we did. It was fine. I watched the movie once, and like, I know the general plot, but they updated a lot of songs. I'm like, I don't think I like this more modern. But when we got out of the opera house, oi. And then this is from Essence. This is the Soft Touch Bouncy Glow highlighter in the shade Soft Glaze. When we got out of the Opera House, there were a bunch of anti-abortion protesters. I would like to be known that there are about 30 to 50 of them along Washington Street. 3 of them were women. Surprise, fucking surprise, it was all white men. But, as my mother said, you know, Massachusetts did adjust their rules, basically going, oh hey, if you need an abortion for a medical reason past 24 weeks, there's not going to be like questions about it, there's not going to be restrictions, because, you know, anyone who's got an abortion after 24 weeks doesn't want an abortion. It's a medical issue that's posing a threat to the mother or the baby, or both. Again, no one's just going up there willy-nilly, be like, oh yeah, thank God, halfway through, I think I'm kind of done with this. Nobody's doing that. And like, they were aggressive about it. Like, they were trying to pull people into talks. They were like not letting someone leave an argument, but there was a lady, God bless her. My mother was prepared to like go help her because she didn't realize someone was with her. She was yelling at a guy so badly that he was curled up in fetal position on the sidewalk crying. And it was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. And I did tell my mother that if one more of them stopped me, I was going to tell them that I was getting an abortion, or that I got an abortion. I haven't. I don't have sex with men. But I was like, I really want to. And then they apparently had a protest the next day in Boston Common, because I saw one of them go up the street at work, and I'm like, thankfully it was before we opened. Thankfully none of them went into the store. Otherwise, I would have been having my freedom of, I have the right to refuse service to anybody. I would have bullied them out of the store. Which is really bad, because I was wearing my work shirt on Friday because I went straight from work. And we were yelling at them. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do that. But, c'est la vie. Alrighty, and then this is from MAC. This is the lip pencil in the shade Cool Spice. I know. Who could have foreseen this coming? Really should have. Sharpened this. Like, I'm gonna give myself a splinter out of my lips, and that's not great. But yeah, I might try to get a second one done because it's only 120. So, as long as I'm back up here by 3/4 at the very latest, we're good, G. And Bridget has been such a nudge the past few days. Like, it's funny, when I got home, she was kind of like, oh yeah, you're home. But like, it took her like 10 minutes to realize that it was me that was home, and you know, she hasn't seen me in 6 days. And then she was just going off the walls, and I'm like, girl, it is not that serious. But she's just been so like pushy like the past few days, like with everybody even. I'm like, and then this is from the Sephora collection. This is the Sheer Shine lipstick in Beige Sparkle. I'm hoping that it's gonna, yeah. I don't like the way this smells. It smells like a spa. But it goes very well with this cheek, so. It's funny because I got this thinking it was going to be a lot cooler toned than it was, and it's obviously not. But it works for what I needed to right now, ironically enough. Alright, I'm going to go fix my bangs, but I should be back in a second. Alrighty, and this is the finished look. Surprisingly, my bangs clipped perfectly because this is exactly how they looked before I started filming. I do need to trim them a little, but I'm also trying to grow out some of this side so it's less bulky here. But I think this is so nice, so cohesive, so like soft and a little, not like angelic, but like there's just a little, I think it's the blue. I love a pop of blue, like especially this, besides the blends palette. I really do love my little blues, like the blues in the Mei Pang palettes. Beautiful, 10 out of 10, exactly what I want in a blue. Like I feel like everything just looks so perfect and cohesive. Though my only issue, and this is just with the lashes, so that's not even a me issue, I just wish these lashes were a tiny bit thicker and fuller, like the tiniest bit. Because I don't like an overly heavy lash, but I just need something a little more. But yeah, nice, excellent. Because I can't be putting out bad looks after not doing makeup for 2 weeks. That would just be embarrassing, you know.